Hi guys, what is going on and welcome to today's YouTube video. In today's video we are going to discuss the higher time frame chart for Bitcoin, the higher time frame scenario that I'm looking at and that I'm looking to trade in the upcoming weeks. My high time frame scenario has been the same for months now. I've been bullish at the bottom over here. I've been bullish over here. I told you guys to be careful over here, and I've been extremely bullish when we were forming this falling wedge pattern near the mid-range. We are still range bound until proven otherwise on the daily time frame, but that doesn't mean that you cannot look for long positions. Why have we mainly been looking for long positions? Because after the deviation of the range low, obviously you get a test of the mid-range. When you gain the mid-range, you should get a test of the range high, especially if the range high liquidity is still untapped. So we have the liquidity above the range high over here, or you can take this high as your range high. It is just whatever you prefer. You can take both of them. And above those highs, we have massive untapped liquidity for the Bitcoin price. So I've been telling you guys that we would see a push towards the range high as long as the mid-range was holding. We saw a beautiful small deviation below the mid-range that I also called once we saw a weak bounce over here, and after the deviation we got a very strong push towards the upside. And I still expect the range high liquidity to be taken out in the upcoming weeks/months. But once we take out that high time frame liquidity above the range high, that should be the period where you should start being careful and where you should start looking for swing shorts, where you start looking to unload your spot buys that you should have bought much lower. So this box over here in between $32,000 and $36,000 will be the area where market makers, in my opinion, might start to unload their spot bags, might start to build swing shorts and unload their swing longs. Why? Because this is the area where there's massive amounts of liquidity, and that's exactly the liquidity that the market makers need in order to unload their bags. So a wick above the range high, in my opinion, is not enough. If we wick above, go down, I will remain bullish until we see proper consolidation above the range high. Why is this consolidation above the range high so important? Because those orders of the market makers are so big, they won't get filled with a quick wick. It needs consolidation, and that is why you usually see those distribution phases, right? The wick of distribution phase, in which you see that consolidation. And when we start consolidating above the range high, what will happen is the retail trader will get extremely bullish because they think that they see a breakout above the range high. So what will the retail trader do? They will start opening swing longs. They will open swing longs, maybe even targeting new all-time highs, putting their stops over here, putting their stops over here, building up a lot of liquidity to the downside. And that's exactly what the market makers want. Because if the retail traders start buying, start longing, that means that the market makers can use that buy pressure, can use that long pressure in order to fill their own sell orders, in order to fill their own short orders. So once they do, I guess we have to be very careful. Something that adds to the confluence of that scenario is the fact that we are forming some kind of a rising wedge pattern. Okay, so a rising wedge or maybe a parallel channel towards the upside. And in my opinion, guys, this is not looking extremely strong. Okay, this is looking not extremely impulsive to the upside. Something that we have to keep in mind, guys, is that we do have this CME gap around this area over here. And this CME gap is still unfilled and will be used as a big magnet for the price, okay? Over here is where we also have the quarterly range, right? So we have the mid-range over here, range low, and in the middle we also have the quarterly range, which will be used as another magnet. So if we deviate over here, we maybe tap into the higher high trend line of the parallel channel, fall back down into the range, we break the trend line. First test will be the mid-range. If we lose it, we will test the quarterly range and probably get a little bit of a deviation below the quarterly range before we reclaim it. If we then reclaim it over here, this will be your trigger to open massive swing longs, open massive buy positions for Bitcoin towards new all-time highs. I think there's a decent possibility that this will be the long-term bottom. This might also be the area where people will be screaming for new lows. Personally, I do not believe that we will go towards new lows, but I do believe that there is a decent possibility that we will see one last midterm crash, midterm correction after the distribution phase over here, and that will be a massive buy opportunity if we get it. But guys, I will only start looking for swing shorts or to unload my spot bags if I see clear signs of a distribution. Like I said, a quick wick won't cut it. If we burst right through it, that's completely fine. Then I'll just hold my buy positions and we continue higher. But if we start consolidating over here, if I see people getting euphoric, get bullish, if I see, for example, wick of distribution phase going on, that's where I will unload my spot bags and I will target lower levels for the Bitcoin price. I know that everyone wants to be very bullish, and I've been bullish over here, been bullish over here, I've been bullish over here, but if I do get my triggers to become bearish over here, I don't mind becoming bearish because I will just trade what the chart is telling me, and so should you. Don't be fixed on a bullish bias, don't be fixed on a bearish bias. Try to trade what the charts are telling you, try to trade what the markets are giving you. If you don't, you will get wrecked. So be objective, don't be biased, and see what the market provides you with certain opportunities. If you guys do have any questions after watching this higher time frame update on the Bitcoin price, please let me know in the comments down below or in our free Discord. The link can be found in the description down below. Make sure to smash the like button, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday's video. Ciao, ciao!